Good morning, 4th grade. Welcome to week 3 of digital learning. We're going to continue in reviewing measurement. And before we get started, I want you to go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to do the Go Needle that I've linked into your Google Slides. Now I want you to do the math warm-up of the input-output tables from last week. When we talk about input-output tables, we talk about that function machine or the rule machine, like patterns. We're trying to figure out the rule. So the only two inputs and outputs I'm given are 3 and 27. So I put 3 into the machine and 27 comes out. So I have to ask myself, how do I get from 3 to 27? Well, if I know my multiplication facts, I know that 3 times 9 is 27. So my rule or function is now going to be times 9. So if 1 goes into the function machine and gets multiplied by 9, 9 will come out because 1 times 9 is 9. Now I'm going to put 5 into my function machine, and out comes 45 because 5 times 9 is 45. Next, I'm given an output. I'm given 63, and so I'm going to set up my equation as 63 is equal to 9 times what? So I have to figure out what it's multiplied by, so I can use the inverse operation. So 63 divided by 9, and I know that as a known fact of 7, because 7 times 9 is 63. We have the same thing where we're given 81 as the output. So again, I would write it as question mark times 9 equals 81. So I can use the inverse operation of 81 divided by 9, which would be 9, because I know 9 times 9 is 81. You're going to be using this measurement conversion chart again. We've been using this for about 3 or 4 days now to answer these next few questions. So go ahead and we're going to get started with this one as a review, and so I'm going to do guided practice with you. If you want to pause the video, you can go ahead and try it on your own. So the 2 units of measurement I'm using are cups and ounces. That tells me in my input and output table. So that when I'm going from cups to ounces, my number is getting bigger. I can see because of that 96 at the bottom. So I know that when I go to cups to ounces, I'm multiplying because the number is getting bigger. When I go from ounces to cups, my number gets smaller, so I'm going to divide. So now I need to figure out the rule by looking at my conversion table, and I can see that 1 cup is equivalent to 8 ounces. They have the same value or the same capacity. My rule now becomes times 8 because 1 times 8 is 8. So if I do 4 times 8, I'm going to get 32. If I do 6 times 8, I'm going to get 48. 8 times 8 is 64. And since I'm going from ounces to cups again, we talked about that I'm going to divide. So now I'm going to divide by 8. So 96 divided by 8 is 12. You can pause the video now if you would like, but this is going to be independent practice that Miss Nealy looks at on its learning, so we're not going to be going over it now. I want to check for understanding, so I'm going to look at it after this video. Now we're moving on to word problems with measurement. So we're going to give this a try. It's just like regular word problems we look at in class. And the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read this problem 2 times. So go ahead and read this problem twice. The playground at Kayla's school is 5 yards from her classroom. How many feet is the playground from Kayla's classroom? So we know we're going from yards to feet. The thing that I need to know about this problem is I need to understand how many feet is in a yard. And so I'm going to need to go up into my conversion chart. So 1 yard is equivalent to how many feet. So I scroll up to my chart and I can see under length, because I'm measuring distance, that 1 yard is equivalent to 3 feet. So I scroll back down and I know that I have 5 yards. You can start by drawing a picture of your work. On your guys' end, you're going to take a picture of your work if you can, and if not, you're just going to write it in your math journal. But we have Kayla in her classroom, so I labeled it with a K, and I know it's 5 yards from the playground. And so then I'm going to draw a little playground. And since I already know what the yards is, my goal is to figure out how many feet there are. So I have to figure out how I'm going from yards to feet. I notice that the rule or function is to multiply by 3. So 5 yards times 3 equals how many feet? Well, I know that 5 times 3 is 15. Another way that you can solve this is by doing an input-output table. I think a lot of you guys are going to try to use this. So I know that if I have 1 yard, I have 3 feet. If I have 2 yards, I have 6 feet. If I have 3 yards, I have 9 feet. If I have 4 yards, I'm going to have 4 times 3 is 12, so I'm going to have 12 feet. And if I have 5 yards, I'm going to have 15 feet. It's my input-output table. So now your job is to write a complete sentence answering the question being asked. So I'm going to highlight the question being asked. It asks us how many feet is the playground from Caleb's classroom. Once you write a sentence answering the question being asked, you then need to explain how you know that. So this is a part I want you to do on your own. How do you know that 15 feet is equivalent to 5 yards? So you can use your picture to help you solve this, the T-chart, conversions, anything you want to help you solve it, and then make sure you hit submit on It's Learning. A lot of you are doing your work, but you aren't pressing the submit button, which sometimes will not allow Miss Nealy to give you feedback. So make sure you're hitting submit, guys. Have a great day. Bye.